Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. And you join me tonight for a bit of an experimental flight. I've not tested or prepped any of this. I just suddenly randomly thought of doing it, and there's a few reasons for doing it. One of them is I've just watched qualifying for the F1 Belgian Grand Prix, so I suddenly thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to try flying to Spa to have a look at the circuit? And so I went onto a little nav map, and I kind of first I thought, well, Brussels I'm kind of roughly familiar with, but not the rest of Belgium. But there's Brussels South, Charleroi Airport. Can't say that. So I thought we could fly from there, go up the kind of there's a interesting looking valley here to Liège, and then cut down to, which I assume this is a small regional airport, Spa, and the actual circuit is in between Spa and Malmedy, so somewhere here I think. So if we get to here, then we can kind of, my plan is to fly over the circuit, do all this VFR, and then come back to land. So yeah, that's the kind of flight plan. The other thing I'm wanting to test is a kind of tweak for the Bonanza performance in Flight Sim 2020. So just have a quick look at Firefox for a second. There's if you go to the forums, Flight Sim 2020 forums, there's people reported obviously various issues with different airplanes, and the G36 being underpowered has come up a few times, and a kind forum person has basically tweaked the flight and engine power config files to give better performance that more matches the real aircraft, and they've bundled them up into a RAR file which you can extract and stick in your community plugins community folder, basically, which then gives you basically new config files for the aircraft, which kind of supersede the ones that are in the default install that comes with Flight Sim. But because they're in a community folder, obviously you can just delete the folder if you don't want it, and it'll revert back to the original. And also, if an update comes out or a new version of Flight Sim comes out, you won't lose your tweaks if you want to keep them. So yeah, so I've installed, I've extracted the files from this RAR file, put them in a community folder. So we should see what happens, because I did fly the F-33 briefly in X-Plane earlier, and yeah, the performance is way better. So it would be nice if there is an improvement. But we should see. So the other thing I've done is I've jumped into Flight Simulator and basically gone to the world map flight planning screen, picked Charleroi as a departure airport, and then set. Is this the correct one? Last serve. Hang on, let me just check. I think it is. That was the other name, wasn't there, for that? It's not Spa. Yeah, Spa La Sauvigny. That's the EBSP. This is the airport that's near Spa itself. Picked those two and then found Liège and added that. Did I just go right click? I think I just clicked on it and it was, yeah, you could add, or there was an option to add it to flight plan, and it kind of put it in the middle. This is just a VFR flight plan, so yeah, that seemed to fit with the one I've got on Little Nav Map, so I'm happy with that. I have to see how it actually works in practice. And now then, we better set a suitable departure point from the Charleroi. I don't know why I'm finding that hard to say. Now let's zoom in because I don't know what it looks like. Never been there, never flown from there. Okay, it's like it's got some kind of pool balls lined up. I'm guessing it's that single runway. Is any of the parking C GA or anything? I don't know what park over there. That'd be a bit of my own. Well, let's take a guess. That might be kind of more commercial stuff. So we park over here. The wind is 214 degrees, so that's favours taking off this way anyway. So yeah, let's try ramp 18 and see what happens. I can't actually set it. Can I? What can I do with that? Actually tells you more here, doesn't it? Ramp GA. Okay. Oh yeah, 18 will do. We can go GA large. Oh, we can have more. Okay, that's better. Let's just have a GA medium. Ah, nice. Okay. Fine. And it's probably enough to start with. We need to look at the flight conditions now. I'm not sure if we want live weather or not, because if we go live weather, we want to be VFR on this. So what's in the custom settings? Scattered clouds, few clouds. Let's go few clouds. I'm not sure if it'll give us any wind or not for this, but we'll just go with that. And well, let's have it a bit earlier. Let's go pretend we're going in the afternoon, or should we go in the morning so we get there in time to go see qualifying? Yeah, let's go morning. 9 o'clock sounds a reasonable starting time, or close to that. Okay, we go for this. Let's fly. So this is the kind of flight I wouldn't bother doing in X-Plane unless I'd gone and got the, is it X Europe or whatever the European autogen add-on is set up, and done some ortho for these areas of Belgium, really, because otherwise it just wouldn't be worth it. Because part of this flight is I'm interested to see what the kind of scenery looks like. If we actually go back to little nav map for a second, what's one other thing that I wanted to check? It was elevations. I wasn't sure. I kind of half had in my mind the idea that Spa might be way up in the mountains, and we might not be able to climb that high in a Bonanza. But if you look at the green at the bottom, which is kind of like the elevation profile, it doesn't really get above what, 1,000 feet or so. Oh, actually no, over here it is. It's 1,500. Okay, so we're up. So yeah, but I mean, you know, it's like flying in Scotland, so we should be fine. Height wise, and we're taking a bit longer to load than usual here. I wonder if that's because it's off getting some. Yeah, if I look at my Ethernet connection at the moment, it's downloading stuff. I guess this is because I've never been to Belgium in Flight Sim before, so it's got to go and get me some scenery. I wonder if it's getting scenery for the whole route, or if it's just loading it for Charleroi. But this is probably why it's taken a bit longer to load. There was someone in the forum saying they'd installed the Bonanza mod and the engine stored, well, it wouldn't run at idle for long, so we should see if that happens. Hopefully not. But then they also said it was idling 800 RPM and getting a battery charge warning, which I think is normal anyway. Oh wow, okay, now then. Let's just turn off head tracking for a second. Let's click ready to fly. Now let's just take a quick look at where we are. Okay, I mean, I guess that's VFR. We just avoid some of the clouds. I don't know what this airport really looks like, but it seems reasonable. So let's jump back into the cockpit and get started up. Now, I'm not sure whether we'll have anything in our flight plan. If not, we might have to add some stuff. So we'll find out. So the first thing we want to do is make sure the parking brake is on. I'm going to turn the beacon on now. I'm also going to turn the batteries on. Let's get our levers in the correct position. We might as well get the engine started to avoid running the battery down. So I'm going to operate the fuel pump until we get some fuel flow. Okay, now throttle open a bit and hopefully we can start. We have the beacon on, we are clear. Hopefully no one runs in front of the prop. Okay, we appear to be running. Let's get that RPM up by 1,000. Now then, alternators can come on. We can lean for ground operations. We can get the other avionics on. we do appear to have some kind of flight plan thing in here. Let's do that thing I did in the other flight. And oh, the other thing that I'm happy about, that's going the wrong way, is that I have managed to fix the heading bug jumping in 10-degree increments when you use the keyboard. It says as it jumps. I know why that is now. So, and it's kind of weird. It's because on my joystick I've got a spare axis. It's like a little throttle slider, and I don't need it for throttle, so I bound it to the cowl flaps. But all you can do is basically, because this is not an axis, all I can do is move them to either opened or closed. And if I leave them, if I leave the slider at one end or the other, Flight Simulator continuously picks up a signal thinking this command's being activated. And for some reason, when that happens, and look, people have had all kinds of other people who've had this have said it's different controls. It happens with any kind of control that's left fully activated. If you've got a joystick like with default switches and one of them's on, this can happen. So the fix here, so what I'll do is I'll shut the cowl flaps for now, and then as long as I move my little slider away from one end or the other, I'm no longer sending the open or close signal, and now I can move my heading bug in 1 degree increments, which is fantastic, and the same applies for the VOR course, so I'm very happy about that. It's the only thing really left annoyed with now is the altimeter being in inches, but we'll see. Okay, so have we got any kind of, talking of that, let's see if we can get some ATIS or something. Can we get some ATIS? Yeah, let's see if we get some ATIS.
Charleroi Airport information, India 0700 Zulu. Wind 270 at 7. Visibility 7. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,200 feet. Temperature 14. Dew point 13. Altimeter 29.902.
2992. Let's try how do we not tune this? I guess we just do that for now. If we shift B, should go to 2992. Great, so that must be our field elevation, about 500-600 feet. What do we have in the flight plan? Do we literally just have the 3 airports? We do. Okay, so we can kind of try and do it VFR, but just use the magenta line as a guide. Maybe we can turn the flight director on, and then that will tell us what to steer. So this could be nice and simple. Okay, well that's all been loaded for me, I guess, because I picked that on the world map screen. While I'm here, transponder, let's turn it on, and we'll put it on alt when we get to. We'll go 7,000, I'll assume this is just VFR. Good, well, good start so far. I guess we need to work out, let's zoom right in here. Runway 2, the wind was from us to something, wasn't it? Oh, I found out another thing, that the wind on here is correct, but the wind on this one is the wrong way around. I think that came from the forums as well. If I go back, PFD, wind, partly, oh, now they match. Okay. Pass. Someone said that one was correct and the other one wasn't. I've now forgotten what the wind was. Let's just see what little nav map says to avoid listening again. Oh, well, of course we're in it. That's interesting, because I don't know what wind it's going to generate, because we're not. I'm thinking we're on real world weather, but we're not. Perhaps I'll just stick the ATIS back on again.
Charleroi Airport information, India 0700 Zulu. Wind 270 at 7. Visibility
Okay, 270.
Sky condition, few clouds
So
at 1,200 feet.
definitely runway 25. I think it's 0725 here. So let's set the heading bug for the runway heading of 250. Okay, and that means we want a right turn out. Yep, that looks quite good. Okay, are we ready to taxi? Let's put our taxi light on. Let's get our trim in takeoff position. Well, we're idling okay at the moment. I don't want to tempt fate with the mods or anything, but let's see if we can get head tracking working again. Great, okay. Right, I'm going to attempt to head left here, I think. Maybe on that taxiway. Maybe if I do a complete around turn and then head left. Let's try that. Are we ready to move? What have we not done? Pitot heat we could put on later, strobes later. Altimeter we do need to... Oh, I suppose we should set the CDI to GPS. That's fine. Okay. And we're looking for about a 73-degree heading once we depart, so will be a left turn. Okay, let's remove the parking brake. Oh, sorry. Apologies. Duck. Just missed. Okay. I'm thinking if I head along here, this should take me to the end of the runway. I could probably take off from there actually. Can we zoom in any more? Yeah, I think we should look to join here. Ooh, we have stopped. Interesting. I wonder why that would happen. Okay, parking brake on. Mixture rich. Let's see if it'll just start up again. Yep. Maybe I had. Maybe I was idling too slowly. I also don't appear to have the parking brake on. Right. Let's get it back to 11:30. So I lean it back, but maybe not too far. Okay. I'm guessing that's the end of the runway there. Let's just move forward slightly. Let's do our power checks and then I think we'll be ready to go. We'll do the power checks here. Okay, so let's get up to, I think it's letting it idle too slowly. It stalled it there, and that may be something that it does anyway. Not necessarily to do with any mods. Okay, so I'm going to take it to about 1700 and let's do magnetos. Yep, and we're getting a drop on the other magneto. So we're down there to about 1630. Back up to this one, yeah, 1630, and then back up to both. Yep, appears to be okay. Let's do the prop. Yep, cycling nicely. Okay, we're about to go on the runway now. So let's just lean back a little bit. I'll explain, there's a thing about mixture as well, but we can go into that in a minute. Let's see if we can get head tracking to come back. Or has it died? No, it's gone away. Hang on 1 second. Okay, we're back. Let's see if we can center it. No, it's not going to be great if we can't center it. Okay, we're back. Slightly jerky. Apologies for that. We want strobes, landing lights, taxi light can come off, and transponder can go on out. We've already checked the flaps are up, the trim's in position. We are good to go. So brake off. So we're gonna depart on runway 25, and then we're gonna make a left turn to come around and get onto our track. towards Liège. And these kind of look... Oh no! Have I stalled again? Okay, no. Oh, but I haven't. So it doesn't really like you pulling the power right back to idle, I think. And I haven't turned P to heat on, so let's do that. Right, this looks like a nice big runway. It's interesting, the runway says 24. There isn't another runway, so I'm going to go for this one. At least I don't think there is. And we are not moving. Okay, parking brake. Let's go. Props full forward, mixer full forward. Slowly bring up the power lever. This is a long runway, so I'm not gonna overstress it. I'm gonna leave it about here. No point in overusing your engine when you don't need to. And I think we can rotate. Dab on the brakes, gear up. But yeah, this is a nice long runway. We're looking for about 85. Just bring the prop back slightly. 85 miles per hour for best climb rate. Up to first 1,000 feet, and we're climbing really well actually, and that looks great. This looks very Belgium-y sort of looking town. We're up to 1,000 feet now, so I'm going to start a right turn. A left turn, sorry. I'm going to turn off my landing lights. Maintain about 100. I'm going to pitch for about 100 knots here. We've got a good 1,000 feet per minute climb rate. Which I'm not quite sure. I think we should go up. I mean, little Nabaf had me at, was it 5,500 feet? So I think we'll go for that. So let me just set that in altitude as a reminder. It'll be quite hard to do whilst turning. Let's turn first. It's early morning sun, and the buildings down there with the shadows and the traffic look really good. There's some good detail in those buildings there. I think you better zoom out a bit here on this one. There we go, we're roughly on an intercept course. So let's... the sky looks great as well. Let's keep climbing. Climbing very well at the moment. Back to 25 inches for cruise climb. I'm just going to pitch down slightly if anything. I think I'm going to engage the autopilot. Just in leveling mode at the moment, wings level mode. It should have kept our pitch there, and it didn't, so I'm going to disconnect the autopilot and resume climbing. I would have expected the autopilot there to just go into pitch hold mode. I'm not quite sure why it didn't. Oh wow, looks great. I'm not quite sure why we've got this flight plan on here. I guess we'll just press that to get rid of it. I'm going to keep climbing. Yes, let's try and get the altitude set. Okay, so at least now we've got the option of... let's get back up again. Let's try autopilot again. And let's go vertical speed, because for some reason it just seems to want to drop. We go VS. Oops. And let's go up to about 1,000 feet a minute. And we've gone past our desired track now, so let's do two things. Let's turn right. We've got some cloud up ahead actually. We have to be a bit careful with staying visual here, so we might have to actually go around the cloud. Where does the cloud go? Okay. I guess the autopilot's trying to return me to the course I was on. Let's get the heading bug roughly aligned. And we'll go into head-in mode. And I'm just going to skirt around this cloud. and then we'll have to get back on track. So we're heading to Liège. Let's get the map. Let's turn off head tracking for a minute. Let's get the map zoomed out a bit, so we can see where we're going. Now, hopefully, because we're in VS, we will start to... what's that for then? We're going really slowly. Oh, is that stall warning? I don't know why we lost all our speed there. Got plenty of power in, haven't we? Let's decrease our climb rate. Have I left flaps up? Have I left gear up? Nope. Something funny going on. Mixture is still rich. Ah! Nope. Let's bring the climb speed right back. There's clearly something not quite right here. Perhaps this mod is not a good idea. Let's see what happens when we level off, because we were climbing really nicely. I'm not quite sure. I didn't keep my eye on the speed there, so maybe... So we definitely got too slow there. We're still too slow. And that's full throttle now. Perhaps the prop RPM should have been full. Let's see what happens when let's get leveled off. Also, we'll try and get back on track as well. Now we're above the clouds. And we're kind of disappointed if this is our real performance. Go back to 500 feet per minute. See, we're okay now. Something must have happened that got us into some kind of critical low speed or low torque, or prop RPM too low or something. Let's turn right a bit more. We should be on about 77, 73 magnetic according to little nav map. So let's at least get round to that. We'll probably need to go more than that to get back on, although it is quite cloudy over this one. More hazy really, I guess. I suppose that is technically a cloud. So a little bit more to the right and we can intercept our... And we haven't got that far to go to Liège actually. Now then, we're eventually reaching our altitude. We are, and the speed's come up nicely. So we should level off now. And let's see, if we bring the RPM back now for more of a cruise RPM, say, let's go 23. That's what I'd normally do on the F-33. And we've definitely got more speed. Now, in terms of mixture, it turns out, again, if you read the forums, that mixture full rich is not full rich. You actually get more fuel flow. So in fact there, look, full rich is hardly any fuel flow. So if you bring it back, fuel flow increases up to a point, then it starts to decrease again. So it's not quite right. And it means, and without an exhaust gas temperature gauge, or like the multi-display that shows you each cylinder, it's very hard to know where to lean it to. So I don't know, I think I'll probably just leave it roughly in the middle, or we might experiment a bit. Definitely getting more speed out of it. I mean, we're not at full power, and we're getting a nice cruising speed. So I think in that sense this mod has worked, but I'm not quite sure what happened there on that climb. Maybe I just missed something obvious. Now then, how are we doing on course? I mean, we're heading towards Liège. We're not totally on the magenta line, but I guess those are kind of flattened wind turbines. I don't know any of the... Oh yeah, I was hoping there'd be a kind of... I was going to follow the kind of valley, but it's more... There's a river valley, but I think it's more to the right. Yeah, let's take a bit of a turn to the right. Say about 30 degrees. So we're at what course are we on at the moment? 81. So we go to about 110. If you do press the key quickly, then it kind of jumps in tens, which is good. Then you gotta be careful because you have to kind of slow it down if you only want to go. This cloud we've got. I wish I hadn't picked so many clouds now. I guess I could still change it. I'd quite like to get down and have a look at this river. So it should have actually gone to the right of the course anyway. Let's assume we're just visual and we can go where we like. Also, there's a lot of cloud there. I think I'm going to turn right with this cloud. And is that the river we can see, in fact, over there? Oh yeah, that definitely looks like a river valley. What is the river? It's the... doesn't even tell me on little map. Oh yeah, La Meuse. I think it's La Meuse, is it? Yeah. M-E-U-S-E. It's kind of like know your Belgian rivers pub quiz thing. See, remember this is fairly early morning, so we got the kind of early morning sun on the clouds. And yeah, great cruise performance now, 150 with 23 squared. Nice. Pleased with that. We're just crossing over our course now, and then once we get to, I'm going to turn to follow the river and keep it on our left so we can see it. There it is. I do find that rivers tend to show up in this flight simulator better than they do in X-Plane. In X-Plane, sometimes there's no water, and unless it's a huge river, and then the waters are really kind of dark grey colour and you can't really see it. So I think definitely rivers are better in this one. How are we doing for fuel? I need to remember to switch tanks. There we go. And I need to remember to keep doing that. Oil pressure, temperature's fine. I mean, I didn't open the cowl flaps, which I should have done. Should have opened them for takeoff and climb, but forgot. Other than that, we look okay. Now then. Where's the river gone? There it is. So, about time to start turning left, I think. Some kind of terraced... oh, it's a quarry or something, is it? Be interesting to see if we can actually see the F1 track if we make it that far. There's the river valley, that's quite nice. Okay, we'll turn a bit more. Slightly concerned now that if I idle the engine too much for descent, we're going to stall as well, but we shall see. Yeah, so I was kind of, I mean, kind of disappointed kind of disappointed and not disappointed with this sort of performance and flight modelling thing, because if you remember watching or reading about, here we go now, following the river, and we're kind of paralleling our course approximately. We'll end up at Liège. One of the things that they touted in all the sort of development updates and videos was how this simulator has a new flight model compared to the old sort of FSX or whatever one. It's more like X-Planes in that it actually models airflow over the actual 3D shape of the plane with the wings and all the other control surfaces. And that sounded great, and certainly flying the aircraft, they fly nicely. They climb, descend, they roll, they float slightly on landing, and do all the things you kind of expect them to do. But then, when when this performance issue came up, the solution is to tweak some numbers in a config file, which just look like magic fudge factors to me. So, why are you changing coefficients of drag, for example, if you can model the drag based on the 3D shape of the plane go through the air? So if you're modelling airflow and you know all the geometry, why do you need fudge factor numbers? So I'm not too sure about that. But then someone else said, oh, they're only used if you if you click the legacy flight model, because one of the options on the simulator is which flight model you want. It defaults to modern, which is what I've got it set to. Why would you not want modern? But apparently if you don't pick modern, it might use it. I don't really think anyone knows. They've not really said. Maybe only some of the performance numbers are used in the modern flight model, and maybe some are not. So yeah, I'd be slightly disappointed if it is just based on fudge factor numbers and not proper modelling. But it does seem to fly nicely. So now, how are we going to know when we're at Liège? This is more to the point. Let's start doing a bit more flight planning here. So there is a on little nav map, there is a VOR 11545. So let's see if we can tune that in. I mean, I guess the other way is it will tell us on our flight plan legs, will it? Oh, are we nearly there? 4 miles. Okay, let's scratch this idea. We're probably not going to have time to set anything up. That doesn't look like 4 miles. Do we know what the scale is on this? Pass. Okay, in which case, might want to. Let's turn head tracking back on and let's see. Maybe we want to steer our way over. Oh, there's some interesting looking things over there. Let's disconnect the autopilot and kind of steer our way around this cloud. I'm not sure you'd actually want to do it in real life, but we'll come along and see if we can see what these cooling tower things are like. Although we probably really shouldn't descend too suddenly, but let's take it down a bit as a test. We can say to ATC that we need to do some flight tests. So I'm just going to bring the inches back, the power there back to the bottom of the inches. In fact, have we disconnected the autopilot? Because yes, we are descending now. And I'm guessing that's got to be some kind of power station, which we're now on top of, so we can't see it anyway. This sort of course should take us to. Let's level off here. Or maybe we'll go down. So is that the airport there with that flashing navigation-y light things? If it is, we'll try and overfly Liège Airport and then we'll turn on course for Spa. In fact, I think given the cloud cover, I think I am going to come down anyway. Let's come down to about 3,500 and level off there. This is all very sort of flattish fields countryside, isn't it? And the river. Right, let's level off now. Bring the power back up a bit. Let's resync our heading. Well, that's something else. The heading doesn't always seem to sync to the magnetic heading. I'm going to re-engage the autopilot. and I'm gonna go alt mode before we go crazy and climb too high. And we've already climbed, which I didn't really want to do. And in fact, we're still climbing. Let's not do that. Definitely some work needed on the autopilot. Let's just get everything level again. I guess it's because, yeah, heading in pitch mode now, the autopilot says it's in. Kind of fighting here to get back. The cloud does not want to leave us, does it? I mean, look, there's no cloud over there. It just seems to be ganging up on us. Fighting to descend here. And there we go, there's the airport. Right. Let's just see if we can level off here. Pitch trim is way, I mean, I'm having to really re-trim it. Just see if we can get it to go level on its own. We've lost the flight director, I'm not sure, I guess that's because there's no autopilot, so yeah, what would it be telling us? Or can we have a flight director on it? It appears not. Oh yeah, okay, we can. Ooh, there's a live traffic landing at Liège. It's almost the first one I've seen. They seem to be quite rare things. I wonder what it is. It's a sort of airliner thing. Cool. We probably really shouldn't be here. Obviously, in a real VFR, we may get permission to fly over the overhead, but we probably wouldn't be at this height. Oh, we might be. Right. Let's make a turn to the right now, having visited Liège briefly, and let's head towards Spa. It's a little bit again we got the only cloud in the area. I'm not quite, no, hang on a minute, how are we gonna I'm gonna know when I'm at Spa, how am I gonna have any chance of finding the circuit? We need some kind of, once we get to the airport we'll have to kind of try and do it visually, so we'll have to descend and go slower. So I guess the thing to do is to find this airport first, and then rely on, if I've got Google Maps open, I'll have to try and work it out from there. I'm not even sure where the Spa airport is in relation to the village. Let's have a look. Okay, it's to the right of the village. Okay, it's actually should be the circuit should be only just slightly, about 3 miles southeast of the airport. So if we can get to the airport, there doesn't seem to be any kind of nav aid, so we'll have to just use the GPS. And the height is 1,500 feet, so if we wanted to, we can probably descend to about 2,500 as a circuit height. It's a big sort of railway terminus thing there. How far have we got to go? Let's see what the flight plan says. 20 miles. Okay. I wonder if we should think about. There's a river valley here, is that right? Yes, from Liège. I wonder if we should think about slowing down and descending soon. Yes, we probably should. I hope it's not going to be this hazy when we get near the circuit, or if we won't be able to see anything. So yeah, 2,500 feet. So we don't want to. We're not going to be able to descend much more than this at the moment. I'm not sure that's telling us very much. Yeah, maybe zoomed out slightly is better. And this one we can probably zoom in now. So, shiny penny to whoever spots the F1 circuit first. Looks like an excellent kind of place to build a castle or something up there, doesn't it? Or a fort, hill fort. I'm not sure if you get those kind of things in Belgium. Obviously prehistoric, not now. It's getting a bit hillier. It's also very, very hazy. I'm beginning to regret picking the morning now. Is that another quarry down there? Very steep valley with a river in the bottom of it. There's a town called Thur near here. I think it might be near that. We may even almost have to sort of fly to the circuit and turn round to see it with the sun behind us. Well, the plane's behaving nicely now. Should we reset the altimeter to local? Yeah, I guess because this is not real weather, then it doesn't really matter. Ooh, I'm not sure how we're going to get any ATIS. We probably aren't going to get any ATIS for the... No. I'm going to have to hope that the altimeter is correct when we come to land. Just need to turn left a bit to get back on course. So the next goal is to identify the Spa airport. I'm not sure what way the wind is, because we kind of have a tailwind here and a headwind here. I think it's, if this one's correct, it's probably a headwind. It's fairly light, so I don't think it'll matter really which runway. Is it runway 05 or 23 is the runway? So what I might do is set the heading bug to, if the wind is from the north, that favoured the 05, wouldn't it? So let's set the heading bug for 50. Yeah, we're nearly on 50. Okay, so that tells us that the airport runway we're going to eventually land on is in that direction. I think we're fairly near the airport now, so I might come down. Let's just bring the power back a little and descend slowly. There should be the town of Spa before the airport. That might be what we're coming up to now. There's a kind of dip in the river and it comes round. Yeah, I think this should be the town of Spa itself. On the left there. And then if the airport's probably over here then. So we're getting into some of the forest that you see around the F1 circuit, I guess. Now just watch our descent here, because I don't really want to go below 2,500. So I'm thinking that, yeah, I mean this is maybe the sort of valleys that the F1 track is going to be on. So if we... Is that the airport? It should be. That looks a bit airporty over there to me. Can we see it? So who put that windscreen pillar in the way? Yep, that looks like an airport. Cool. Okay, so we know where the airport is. So I think if we fly over this hill, we've got a good chance of being near the circuit. I wonder if we can get along up Eau Rouge with this. There we go. I think this might be circuit territory. Spa's one I've always wanted to go to. I've only really been to Silverstone and Brands Hatch. It's been some time since they've had a fun out in Donington. Not any of the European races. So let's maybe take a circuit round. Is that part of the circuit, or is that a road, isn't it? Or is it in the next bit? This could be. Does this look pit laney? Just put some power back in next. We don't want to descend any further. Yeah, okay, so that's not very F1-y, but this next bit certainly looks like it. Okay, let's just... Yep, that looks like Eau Rouge to me. There on the left, and then the track goes up. You can even see the curbing there at the sides, and the track goes up through the forest. So where you really want a helicopter. I'm gonna fly down here and I'm gonna come back in over the circuit again. Ah, that's fantastic. I've seen it now. There's a nice bridge over there as well. Look in the distance. Okay, what are we doing for speed and height? Right, let's we're going way too fast. Let's power right back, and we don't want to descend anymore, so we'll just pitch up, slow down, and then we'll take a 180 and have another look at the circuit on the way back. But it looks like a good day for qualifying. Okay, let's make a... Oh wow, there's the bridge and another gorgeous river valley. This is great. Okay. Watch our speed. We're okay. We're going to keep it above about 120, otherwise we'll start to need flaps. Again, this looks great. Yeah, I think it's going to be nicer. It's going to be nicer with the sun behind us, definitely. Flown the whole way here with hardly be able to see anything, unfortunately. And of course I've got to find the circuit again. My sense of direction is absolutely terrible, so chances are... I think it's over that way, isn't it? Yeah. I think. There it is. So maybe we can come down over the top of the hill and do Eau Rouge in the reverse direction. Let's see if we can do that. The roads look very realistic in this. I mean, the ones in X-Plane kind of look a bit like stuck on top grey ribbons, but these actually look more like roads. I mean, sometimes it gets them wrong and it just has them as sort of tracks, but generally they're very good. Here we go, coming up to the... So this should be the top of the hill that we're coming up to. Or have I lost my sense of direction, which is quite possible. Here we go, I'm going to come down. This is the hill, so there we go. Let's go down here. This is it the road up? Is it La Source? No, La Source of Hairpin. It's I can't remember the name of the thing at the top of the hill, but this is after you've come up Eau Rouge. I think there's probably a slightly excessive amount of trees there, but yeah. Let's get prop full, mixture full, just in case we need to get some speed back here. Yep, Eau Rouge, almost in reverse. Right, let's get power back. Alright, there we go. So I guess we're in trouble now, but if not, if they'll still let us into qualifying, let's get back to the airport and land. We don't want to get too much speed up here, so that's an interesting roundabout. Head back to the airport, which I think was over this hill, wasn't it? Now, if we're going to come in for 05, RPMs are 2. Let's bring those back. Let's kind of fly over the circuit, the airport, and kind of do some kind of join.
500.
Yeah, probably want a bit more power to get over this hill. Oh, these trees look really good close up as well. Then airport should be somewhere down here, shouldn't it? It's just... There it is. Okay, there's the airport, so let's kind of join... Let's kind of get into a right-hand circuit, I think, from here. I think that's the airport. Yeah, okay. So, let's... into a right-hand circuit. I don't want to go any higher than this. And I don't want to go any faster than that either, so let's just take it slower. So we're kind of heading, imagine we're heading, well, we're still in the dead side basically, aren't we? So we want to, yeah, we're at about circuit height already, so we don't need to descend. Just need to turn around and get ourselves lined up so we can get onto a proper downwind for 05. Too far away from the airport here now, because we should be overhead joining. We should be crossing the numbers, shouldn't we? At the other end of the other end of the runway. Not I mean this far out. We seem quite high. Apparently we're only at 1,000 feet. No, that's probably about right. Okay. Alright. I'm now gonna... Effectively now going crosswind for a right hand for 05. And we'll turn down when the runway looks quite small, quite short from here. And I think it is quite short actually, so we're going to have to nail our approach speed. Let's turn now downwind. Let's just bring that power back, I think. I don't know if this airport actually gets busy or used when F1's in town. I guess it may well do. Let's get the prop forward now, I think. Okay. Try and stabilise our altitude here. Right. Up to the top of flat range now, so I'll pick an aiming point of somewhere ahead of us, say that sort of thing there. Head for that. So in a second I'm going to put the gear down and one notch of flaps. That now. So gear coming down, one notch of flaps, mixture rich, although not too rich because that's lean. Let's turn base, and we need to start descending, although it appears to me we're quite near these trees, so I'm going to keep the descent rate quite shallow if I can. Also trying not to lose the runway. Yeah, I think we're quite tight, so I better keep Maybe I'll just keep turning on to final here. There we go, full flaps. We have gear, we have mixture, we haven't changed the fuel for a bit, but it's too late to do that now. Should have been checking that. Let's try it right now. We need to get down to about 80 for approach speed here. We want to be trimmed. If ideally you want to be trimmed for about 80. Yeah, quite a lot of wind here, I guess, because we're on top of a ridge and we're going too fast. I'm also scared about pulling the power back too much and it's stalling, but let's slow it down. I don't want to lose too much speed either. I haven't got the trim right, but I'll just have to go with it. We'll start to bring the power back. Bring it right back. Start to flare. Watch the end of the runway. And we're down. Now can we stop in time? Yeah, we should be okay. We're fine actually. Okay, you start to clean up. Flaps can come up. Oh, don't want to stall. We do want to turn off the runway. A nice scenic arrival. A nice scenic taxiway. It's like we're the first ones here today, ready for the good seats for qualifying. Oh, overall, apart from that climb we had at the beginning, where I'm not sure whether I just let something slow down too much, the performance has been great. I mean, the cruising speed's pretty much what you get from the F-33 with the Reality Expansion Pack in X-Plane, which I think is pretty good. Yeah, really pleased. Just going to have to be careful about this stalling thing. Some fuel there, which we might get later before we go back. For now, I'm just going to pull in and park. That looks like a kind of parking-y bit up the hill, doesn't it? Let's try and get in there. Ooh, struggling to go up the hill here. The X-Plane does that. Struggles sometimes on hills and grass and then shoots off. I think this is more of a turning area, but I'm going to park in it. Actually, I might park in that bit down the bottom. Oh, no, I am stuck. Needing lots of throttle here. Okay, I'm going to park in this kind of bit down here. I know it's not a parking bit, but I can just about fit in it. There we go. So parking brake on and head tracking off. What do we need to clean up? Oh well, we should. In fact, the engine stops on its own. It's even better. You don't need to worry about that. Strobes, landing lights, beacon, avionics, batteries might as well come up. Ignition we should really turn off. Batteries. There we go. Let's just have a quick look outside. And yep, we are ready to now set off to the circuit to see qualifying. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that flight. It wasn't really one that had any kind of preparation or anything. It was just a kind of jump in and go. And certainly, yeah, pleased with needs more testing, but quite pleased with that little mod to fix the performance. It's quite nice to be able to cruise at the proper sort of cruise speeds. Yeah, so Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.